Hello, readers! Yesterday we met a new reading friend. Do you remember who our reading friend was? Tryin. And what did Tryin teach us about? Can you share with me? Tryin told us that when we're reading and we get that feeling, oh, that didn't sound right. Or we think in our mind, that page didn't make sense. He wants us to pause. And instead of continuing to read the book, he wants us to go back and try another strategy. Or he wants us to go back and reread the sentence. And as we reread and try a new strategy, we're going to be trying to figure out what would make sense and what the words are that the author wrote in that story. And I wanted to share with you today that all of these strategies we're learning about are strategies that we can use when we're reading fiction books and when we're reading nonfiction books. So today we're going to look at a nonfiction book, and we're going to practice using all those strategies we've learned about and our new strategy that Tryin taught us about. Our story today is called Tales. And as I'm reading today, I'm going to really make sure that the words are making sense and that they match what the author has written. Tales by Melanie Mitchell. Let me try tapping that out. W, ah. What? Has a, oh, there's that word from the cover. Tails. Oh, but it doesn't have an S at the end. That must be the word tail. That first word didn't sound quite right. I'm not really sure what's happening here on this page. I see a question mark, so I can tell that the author is asking a question. Has a tail. Oh, well, sometimes when we ask a question, we start with that word who, because that's a question word, like that word what or why. Do you think that looks like what, why, or who? Who? Let's see if that makes sense. Can you help me try that sentence? Who has a tail? Does that make sense? Yeah, and I see this zebra here. So I'm thinking this story is going to be all about different kinds of animals that have tails. Let's find out. Oh, sorry for that glare there. I wanted you to be able to see the page with me. A dog has a tail. A fish has a tail. Are you starting to notice the pattern in this book? See if you can join in with me. A rat has a tail. Now, sometimes when we're reading and we notice the pattern, we start to read really fast. And we think we know exactly what the author is saying when we can tell that just that one word in the picture is changing. But did you notice when I was reading this page really quickly, I said a rat. And that could be a rat, but I'm going to reread that. I'm going to try again because as I look closely at what the author wrote, I noticed that rat starts with R. But that word doesn't start with an R. What does it start with? Yeah, it starts with M. So it can't be a rat. It has to be something that starts with the sound. What could that be? Mouse. Would that make sense? Let's try it. A mouse has a tail. So it's really important when we're reading that we're going slowly and we're reading carefully and we're checking to make sure that it sounds right, but also that it looks right. Because when I said a rat has a tail, that sounded right. That could be a sentence that was in the story, but it didn't look right. So Tryin wants us to make sure it sounds right, but also that it looks like what the author wrote. That's why we look really closely at the words. A bunny has a tail. Oh, I think I did it again. I looked at that picture and I thought, that's a bunny. But when I look closely at that word, what do you notice? What do you see at the beginning of that word? An R. Can that be the word bunny? That wouldn't make sense because the author wrote a word that starts with the sound. What word did the author write? A rabbit. You're right, another word for the adult bunny. A rabbit has a tail. Let's slow down on this next page, see if you can help me. A fox has a tail. Do you see tails? So readers, when you're reading at home and you're using all of our strategies like Tryin Lion, you want to make sure to ask yourself, does it sound right? Does it make sense? But you also want to ask yourself, does it look right? Are the words that I'm saying matching the words that the author wrote in the story? And putting all of those pieces together are going to help us to build our reading muscles, to build our reading stamina, and to enjoy lots of new books. So I hope that when you're at home today, you'll be asking yourself, does it sound right? And does it look right as you're reading? Have a wonderful day.